This is my local movie theater. This is where I go to see most of my movies. So far, I've seen 2 movies this summer, but this is the story of one particular movie, Moonrise Kingdom. And now, my review. Alright, let's talk about Moonrise Kingdom. But before I get into my review of Moonrise Kingdom, just a couple of thoughts on the movies I've seen over the summer so far. I saw Prometheus and I saw Brave. Just a couple of movies so far over the summer. In the theater, that is. And I was disappointed on both counts. Those were both movies I was excited about seeing, and I was disappointed in both cases. So then I found out, of course, Wes Anderson had a new movie coming out. Heard about it earlier in the year, was excited about it, and I started to question if I was going to yet again be disappointed by another movie this summer. I am a huge Wes Anderson fan. I really liked Bottle Rocket. I loved Rushmore, probably my favorite movie of his. I loved Royal Tenenbaums. I loved The Life Aquatic. Fantastic Mr. Fox is just okay, and Darjeeling Limited is just kind of okay. Didn't hate them, but I didn't love them. And because of those last 2 movies, I was again kind of concerned that I might be, disappointed once again. But I'm happy to report I came out with a smile on my face. I really like this movie. I liked it a lot. I'm not sure where it ranks with all the other movies. Probably on the level of Royal Tenenbaums for me. I might have to watch it again to make sure, but I liked it that much that it's at least, rivaling Royal Tenenbaums for me, which means it's a good movie, at least as far as I'm concerned. The movie is basically a simple story of 2 preteens that are in love, and they're trying to get together throughout the movie, and different obstacles get in their way, hurt parents being the main thing. And what's great about this is that it's that Wes Anderson style. I always think of it as a storybook come to life. That's the kind of style that he seems to have in his movies, and I really like that style. I know he's been criticized somewhat for just kind of reusing that style over and over in his movies, but to me, I think it's great as long as the stories are new and the characters are new, and that's the case here with Moonrise Kingdom. You got some funny, unique characters, and I think this is his first period piece, I guess, because it's set in 1965. You've got the preteen boy who's, I forget some of these characters' names, so forgive me, but the boy is part of a scout troop, and Ed Norton is his scout master, and he does a great job. He's just this kind of innocent, but very into scouting, kind of guy. He's even asked at one point by one of the kids what he does for a living, and he starts by telling him that he's a math teacher, and then he stops and corrects himself, saying he's a scoutmaster first, math teacher second. So that, just kind of shows how devoted he is to scouting and the kids. And the whole troop 55, is one of the things I love about this movie, because just within the troop, you've got all these kids who are different characters. They each have their own kind of little affectation. The one kid with an eye patch, the other kid's like the bad boy of the group. So just a great cast of characters within the troop itself. And it also was kind of even more interesting for me because my Boy Scout troop was Troop 55. So that was kind of fun. The preteen lovers, like I said, are the centerpiece of the movie, and it's all about them trying to get together. The boy is an orphan who's been shuffled from foster home to foster home, so he's never really known a real family unit. But through that, he's kind of gained this kind of you know, weird confidence. Even though he's kind of this geeky little kid and doesn't fit in, he's kind of fine with himself, knows what he wants, and he's actually the one to reach out first in the relationship, which is a funny scene. The girl is the daughter of Bill Murray and Frances McDormand's characters, and she's just kind of a damaged kid in that she knows her parents' marriage is falling apart, so she hates her family. She's got 3 younger brothers, and she just, I guess, feels out of place and hates her family. So there's this whole theme of family within the movie itself. Also, you have the narrator, who is played by Bob Balaban, who seems to be some type of weather scientist who knows the island really well, knows the history of the island. So he also, you know, interacts with the characters in the movie, brings, you know, important information at certain times. But aside from that, he's also, you know, a narrator, breaks the fourth wall, talks directly to the audience. Just a, you know, neat device to kind of fill us in again on the history of the island and some of the actions that are taking place. I also should mention a little bit about that style. One of the things I like about Wes Anderson's style is he seems to put a lot of thought into composition. There's always a symmetry to the composition. There's a lot of work in the details of wardrobe and set dressing and things like that. And it all works together really well. In the case of this movie, everything takes place in 1965, so he really relishes that with a lot of props and of course the costuming, all very early 60s, as well as, you know, the look of the film has kind of got that tint to it of like a faded home movie, and all of that just works really well. The music is fantastic. He chose to use a lot of classical music with this interesting idea of a record series where a child is introducing, it's like a child's series of records where they're introducing classical music to children. So the child narrator is talking about the different instruments that are played within a classical piece. There's a war film aspect to it, and when you see the movie you'll probably know what I'm talking about. It usually has to do with the scout troop, because at one point the boys' troop is after him, chasing him to find him, as helping out the sheriff. So that's kind of a war aspect to it. And then later there's a rescue element that also is, you know, kind of reminds one of the old war films. And by the end of the film, they get to the equivalent of a Boy Scout jamboree. If you've ever been in Boy Scouts, you know what I'm talking about. It's basically where all the troops come together for a big kind of outing where they kind of compete with each other and things like that. But this equivalent to the jamboree where all the other scout troops are, you get to meet Jason Schwartzman's character, who really has a great part in this. He's very funny, and you know, I don't want to give too much away, but it's just when these characters pop up, they're so well defined that you know what they're about. You have a sense of their history. You just know the character right away, and that's a credit to Wes Anderson and Roman Coppola, who co-wrote this. They also wrote Darjeeling Limited together, I believe. But all in all, it was a movie where I just found myself grinning throughout the whole movie. But just one of those pure joy kind of movies. Again, I'm a big Wes Anderson fan, especially, like I said, Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, The Life Aquatic. So if you like those movies, if if you really enjoyed those movies, you'll enjoy Moonrise Kingdom quite a bit. If you're kind of on the fence about them, you know, you can wait till video and check it out then. But like I said, it's so far my favorite movie of the summer. I haven't seen a lot of movies this summer, but my favorite so far. So I really like this movie and highly recommend it, especially if you're a Wes Anderson fan. Alright, thanks for checking out my review of Moonrise Kingdom.